Thank you so much, Prabhu, for kindly introducing me. I'm very grateful to each and every one of you who have kindly come here today, this wonderful Sunday. Dear devotees, today we are going to have a discussion on three types of discussions. But before we begin our discussion on the three types of discussions, it's important to ensure that there is auspiciousness for the entire event, and auspiciousness is ensured by performing Mangalacharan, auspicious invocations. So I'll sing a few prayers to ensure auspiciousness for the event. Most of us may be knowing. So those of us who know these prayers, you can kindly sing along with me. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. So thank you once again, dear devotees, for kindly assembling here on this wonderful Sunday. What we performed just now was Mangal Acharan, auspicious invocations. Before we begin a particular program, we ensure auspiciousness for the program by chanting a few verses. And now we'll begin the main topic for today, that is three types of discussions. I hope all of you are able to see the screen. Does anybody find the angle difficult? Should we turn it here a little bit? All of you are able to see? All right. Thank you, dear devotees. I'll begin with a quote from an American movie producer. The quote is as follows. Ajinkya Prabhu is here. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Can you read loudly the first sentence?
If two men on the same job agree all the time, then one is useless.
Yeah. If two men doing the same job agree all the time on all the things, then one of them is useless. You don't need two people then. And immediately he says,
If they disagree all the time, then both are useless.
right. So, So, there will be certain differences of opinion between two people simply because there are two people. If two people stop having differences of opinion, then people will say you don't need to have two people. You just one is okay. So an indicator of individualism, an indicator of individuality is that a person has a healthy difference of opinion with another person. This is the nature of this particular world. And this is true not even for ordinary people of the world, but even great acharyas, great learned personalities also have differences of opinion. For example, one time Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to one of his disciples and he said the following. This is what Prabhupada said. Kindly read, Prabhuji.
As for your question about Shantaras and the opinions of Rupa Goswami and Sridhar Swami, I don't remember. You can send me the appropriate passages. There is no reason why acharyas cannot differ on certain points.
You see? The devotees, the last sentence is very important. Please repeat after me. There is no reason why acharyas cannot differ on certain points. So, differences of opinion on certain points exist also between the eternally perfected acharyas, and this is a healthy indication of having an individual personality. So, whenever there is a difference of opinion on a particular topic, it immediately leads to a discussion. For example, if I specify a topic and myself and let's say Acharya Nishcha Prabhu, we have a difference of opinion on that topic, then immediately there will be a discussion. For example, I say Acharya Nishcha Prabhu, in a kirtan, the most important instrument is the harmonium. Do you agree? No. It is my pristine opinion. Do you agree with my opinion, Prabhu? So what is your opinion? What is the most important instrument in a kirtan? Heart is not an instrument. I am saying musical instrument. Vocals are instrument, I am saying. Assisting instruments. Which is the most important one? Kartal. See, so now a discussion has to begin. I hope you are able to understand. If he would have agreed with me, would we need to have a discussion? No, because he is agreeing with me. But now because both of us have a difference of opinion over the same topic, this leads to a discussion, and this discussion can take various forms. So, and ultimately, myself and Acharya Nishcha Prabhu may end up disagreeing. And we may end up quarreling also. How many of us, dear devotees, have had differences of opinion and arguments and quarrels over those differences of opinions? Please raise your hands. Please see who is not raising their hand, because they are the most, nicest person to stay with. Shantaras. Acharya Nishcha Prabhu, ultimately, all quarrels and arguments we can blame on one particular person. There is one particular person who can take the blame for all the quarrels and arguments. No. Dear devotees, in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is specified who is responsible for all arguments. Here is a verse, please repeat after me. Yachaktayo vadatam vadinam vai Vivad samvad bhuvo bhavanti कुर्वन्ति चैषां मुहुरात्ममोहम् तस्मै नमोऽनन्तगुणाय भूम्ने Ajinkya Prabhu, please read.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, who possesses unlimited transcendental qualities. Acting from within the core of all philosophers who propagate various views, he causes them to forget their own souls, while sometimes agreeing and sometimes disagreeing among themselves. Thus, he creates within this material world a situation in which they are unable to come to a conclusion. I offer my obeisances unto him.
I offer my obeisances unto him who creates all the differences of opinion in this world. Who is that person? Krishna. Dear devotees, next time you have a difference of opinion, you should remember Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 4th chapter, verse 31. Ultimately, who was sitting in the heart and causing the difference of opinion? Please tell me. Krishna. Dear devotees, for this reason, the responsibility of all the differences of opinions and arguments ultimately rests upon whom? Krishna. This is who is ultimately responsible. So I believe harmonium is the most important musical instrument. And what does Acharya Nishta Prabhu believe? Now, who is responsible? Now, if both of us have an argument, so the person responsible ultimately is not Acharya Nishta Prabhu or myself. The person responsible ultimately is Shri Krishna himself. And these differences of opinions arise because people look at situations from different angles. And therefore, Acharya Nishta Prabhu can't see my point of view. I can't see his point of view, although we are looking at the same situation. And this often happens on social media and Facebook. And you may often see, I often have experience, on Facebook I have 5,000 friends. That's one of the biggest jokes of my life, dear devotees. I have 5,000 friends. I don't know if they can be called friends, but Facebook calls them friends. But I have 5,000 friends. But dear devotees, once in a while I'll have a friend who pops up only to disagree. So, how many of us have had such people in our lives who otherwise don't encourage you, but when there is a disagreement, they'll immediately pop up? So that is the sort of discussion that happens sometimes on social media. Therefore, it's important for us to understand what is a discussion in Vedic terminology, how to have a proper discussion, and what are improper types of discussions in Vedic culture. So we will refer to our previous Acharya, Sri Madhvacharya. He wrote a specific literature only for this purpose. The literature is called Katha Lakshanam. But what is Katha? Katha means discussion. Alright, what is the meaning of Katha? Discussion. So, Sri Madhvacharya specifies that there are 3 types of Katha or dialogues. And the first and the best type of Katha is known as Vad. What is it known as? Vad. So Katha is discussion, and Katha is of how many types? 3. Today's topic is 3 types of discussions. So 3 types of Katha. And the first one is called as Vad. And a Vad occurs when 2 parties have opposing opinions on the same topic. Like myself and Acharya Nishta Prabhu, what is the topic that we selected? Best instrument in Kirtan. And do we have a difference of opinion? Yes. So now Katha can begin. But if both of us honestly want to arrive at the truth, both of us honestly want to know what is the Shastra, what does the scripture say about the best instrument in Kirtan? and if both of us agree on the common tools and means to arrive at the conclusion, then we can have the best form of discussion, best form of katha. And what is the best form of katha known as? Vada. Alright? Sri Madhvacharya defines Vada and the three types of discussions in his Katha Lakshanam. Please repeat after me. Vado jalpo vitandeti trividha vidusham katha. Trividha. There are three types of discussions amongst vidusham, amongst philosophers. What are the three types of discussions? Please repeat after me. Vada. Second is jalpa. And third is vitanda. So these are the three types of discussions that happen between people. So which is the first one, dear devotees? Vada. So he defines what is Vada. Now Vada is the best type of discussion. I already gave a few characteristics, but he is going to define it in his words. Please repeat after me. Tattva nirnayam uddishya kevalam guru shishyayo kathanyesham api satam vado vasamite shubha. Tattva nirnayam uddishya kevalam guru shishyayo. Discussions primarily between guru and disciple, or between other saintly people also, but which are auspiciously aimed only at tattva, arriving at the truth. There is no other aim in this discussion. This discussion is known as Vad. Dear devotees, this is the best type of discussion to have amongst various individuals and amongst the devotees also. Can some of us give examples of Vada in the scriptures? Arjun speaking with Krishna. Arjun's discussion with Krishna did have differences of opinion with Krishna. Did Arjun have differences of opinion with Krishna from time to time? Yes. Arjun did not blindly agree to whatever Krishna spoke. When Krishna gave him various techniques to control his mind, Arjun said, it is easier for me to control the blowing wind than to control the mind. When Krishna spoke Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga together, Arjun said, your mixed words are confusing me. Many times Arjun disagrees with Bhagavan. So just because Guru and disciple are discussing doesn't mean that the disciple has to blindly say yes to everything. The disciple has the freedom to disagree in a polite way wherever the disciple feels it is illogical. That is Vedic tradition, dear devotees. The disciple disagrees wherever the disciple feels that something illogical is being spoken. The Vedic tradition is that baladapi shukadapi and apyuktam padmayonena, that one should take a truth even from a small child, and one should not take what seems to be untruth even if Lord Brahma is speaking it. This is Vedic tradition. Yukti yuktam vacho grahyam baladapi shukadapi. A logical expression can be accepted even from a small child. Ayauktikam tu na grahyam. Don't accept illogical things. Apyuktam padma yonina. Even if Brahma is coming and speaking it. This is Vedic tradition. But besides Guru and disciples, other saintly people can also engage in this most auspicious discussion. What is the name of this type of discussion, dear devotees? Vada. Please memorize these terms. What is the Sanskrit term for a discussion? Katha. And Katha is of how many types? 3 types. What is the first type? Vada. Now, examples was given. The discussion between Krishna and Arjuna is such a good example of Vada. It is actually known as Samvada, complete Vada. Krishna, Arjuna, Samvada. Any other examples of Vad or Samvad in Shastra? Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not exactly. Sri Rai Ramananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All right. This was Samvad. Very good. Any other example? Shukdev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. All right. Vidura and Maitreya. So many examples of Samvad we find in Shastra. Dhruva and Narada Muni. All right. Wonderful. So many examples we will find in Shastra of Vad or Samvad. And this is the most ideal type of discussion that can be had in human society. Unfortunately, human society doesn't always take the Vada route. Then comes the second type, dear devotees. Jalpa. Sri Madhvacharya says, Khyatyadyartham spardhaya va Satam jalpa itiryate. Khyati. Does anybody know what is the meaning of khyati? Fame. So discussions in order to gain khyati, in order to gain fame. Spardhaya, or discussions out of the feeling of competitiveness, where your aim is to maintain your position as the topmost position and win over the other person. That is the main aim of the discussion. That type of discussion becomes known as what? Jalpa. So, Ajinkya Prabhu, kindly read.
Discussions driven by the desire to earn prestige or the desire to win a debate are classified by the wise as jalpa.
So, Acharya Nishta Prabhu, in this discussion, you want to maintain your point and I wish to maintain my side. And both of us have one aim. What is the aim? No, that was Vada. That was long ago in Satya Yoga. All right. You have to win now. All right, Prabhu. So are you willing to have a jalpa with me? Let's try. Okay? Harmonium is the best instrument. Do you agree? Why? Kartal is the best. Harmonium has so many tunes. Sare, Gama, Pada, Ni. What does Kartal have? Oh, wow. See, he's trying to win now, dear devotee. There is no reference to scriptures. Okay. Vad would be, Prabhu, let's refer to the ancient texts of music and try to find out which instruments are recommended for kirtan. That would be Vad. And if he agrees, then both of us look into it. And whatever the ancient texts say, both of us will agree. That will be Vad. This is Jalpa. Dear devotees, there are many examples of Jalpa in Shastra. Can somebody point out some examples of Jalpa types of discussions that we have seen in Shastra, where both parties wanted to prove their opinion as superior? The discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Kashmiri Pandits. Wonderful. Both of them, Chaitanya, he recited 100 verses spontaneously on the glory of Ganga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, instead of appreciating 99 verses, he pulls out one verse and points out faults in that one verse. But what about remaining 99 verses? No. I wish to point out that there is fault in one of the verses. And then the Kashmiri Pandit again tries to defend himself and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again points out faults. So this, dear devotees, is which type of discussion? Jalpa. Any other example? There is a history that Sri Jiva Goswami once engaged in a discussion with a Brahmana because that Brahmana tried to point out some fault in the works of Sri Rupa Goswami. So that discussion also took the form of Jalpa. Alright, yes? Brahmara Gita, okay, Brahmara Gita can be said, but in Brahmara Gita, Sri Radha is in the mood of pralap. She is blabbering actually. And the Brahmara, the bumblebee, is not replying actually. Discussion means both people have to reply. Okay. The discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya also did not go away convinced in that discussion. And both of them tried to prove each other's point of view. This was Jalpa type of discussion. Now, dear devotees, we come to the absolute lowest standard of discussion in human society. What is the third type of discussion? Vitanda. When everything else fails, there is always Vitanda. Please repeat after me. Vitanda tu satamanyai Tattvam eshu niguhitam. Vitanda tu satam anyais tattvam eshu niguhitam. Dear devotees, now the third type of discussion, what is the name? Vitanda. Yes. The third type of discussion is called Vitanda. Vada is where both parties agreed on a common set of principles and were discussing in a very cordial manner. Nobody had the desire to win, both parties had the desire to find out the truth. That was which discussion? Vada. Jalpa, both parties wanted to maintain their point of view and win. That was the main aim, was to win. For the sake of attaining prestige or for the sake of proving oneself superior, that was Jalpa. Third comes Vitanda. In Vitanda, I don't have my point of view to defend. I don't want to prove my point of view. I have nothing on my side. I just want to make sure he is defeated. I hope you are able to understand. This is known as what? Vitanda. Prabhu, I think harmonium is better. What do you think? Bolo, bolo. That's because you are horrible at playing the harmonium, isn't it? Arre, what turn did the discussion take suddenly? Instead of defending harmonium, I started assassinating his character. So, dear devotees, in order to defeat his point of view, now I don't want to even prove that Kartal and harmonium is superior. I just want to prove somehow he is defeated. So, when a person doesn't even want to maintain their own point of view, but wants to ensure that the other person is defeated, you have entered into the third type of discussion, and the worst one in human society. What is it known as? Yatanda. This is the translation. Ajinkya Prabhu, please read.
A discussion that takes place between an honest person and a wicked wrangler, intent only on destroying the genuine arguments of his honest opponent without paying any heed to the establishment of truth, is called Vitanda.
Yes. Acha. Dear devotees, in scriptures, do we have any examples of Vitanda? Yes? Huh? Duryodhan and Krishna. Yeah, Krishna came as a peacekeeper before the Mahabharata war. And Duryodhan started, Duryodhan and Krishna got into a verbal argument. It got to such a extent that Duryodhan started calling names to Krishna. And then Krishna had to show his, universal form. And that is how the discussion ended. Acha, any other example? Shishupal. With Shishupal, what will you discuss? Yeah, Angad and Ravan also. Yes, wonderful. There is also another incident in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a discussion, not discussion, there's an argument that takes place between Devayani and Sharmishtha. And the end result is one of them is thrown in a well. And this, dear devotees, these are examples of Vitanda. Another classic example of Vitanda is that which took place in the fire sacrifice of Daksha. What took place in the fire sacrifice of Daksha? What happened? Does anybody know? Sati self-immolated herself. Then the real Vitanda began after that. Because Bhagwan Shiv arrived with all of his associates. And then Daksha lost his head. Bhrigu lost his beard. Many people lost many things on that day, dear devotees, because of which type of discussion? Vitanda. So often we might have seen, especially those who are married. Why are you laughing? Discussions begin as Vad. Gradually, it becomes Jalpa. And suddenly, from nowhere, comes an argument which defeats the whole purpose of discussion. 10 years ago, you remember what you said? What, 10? What are we discussing? Why are you bringing what I said 10 years ago? So you can see all three in a married relationship, dear devotees. It sometimes begins with Vad, it turns into Jalpa, and finally when nothing else is remaining, you always have Vitanda. So dear devotees, amongst these three, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says that I am one of these three. Now, it is very obvious which of these three does Krishna is represented by Krishna himself. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says in 10th chapter, 32nd verse, please repeat after me. Vadaha pravadatamaham. So, amongst arguers, I am which variety of discussion? Vad. See, when we read the Bhagavad Gita translation, the translation says amongst people who are discussing, I am the discussion. That is what the translation says. The previous acharyas, all of them have specified that discussions are of how many types? And amongst the three types of discussions, Krishna is represented by which type of discussion? Vad. So this is what Bhagavan wanted to say in the Bhagavad Gita. Amongst all the types of discussions, I am the Vad variety of discussion. Not Jalpa, not Vitanda. For this reason, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita only to a person who could engage in Vad. And who was that person? And what was Arjun's qualification to hear the Bhagavad Gita? Devotee. Yeah. Krishna himself says, Bhakto sime sakha cheti. Bhakto asime, you are my devotee. But Krishna Bhishma is also devotee. Nahi, sakha cha iti. There are many devotees, but you are my friend. And confidential secrets are told mainly to friends. Now, dear devotees, Vada is the best type of discussion. Vada can be roughly translated as cordial discussion. What can it be translated as? Cordial discussion. However, in Sanskrit, the term Vada can also take a completely opposite meaning. There are some terms which are so unique, they can take opposite meanings. For example, in English, there is the term to dust, the phrase to dust. To dust can mean to wipe off dust, and to dust can also mean sprinkle dust. I hope you are able to understand. So these terms which can take completely opposite meanings in English are known as contronyms. Vad is such a term. What is the meaning of Vad that we just saw? Cordial discussion. But Vada also means Vada Vivad. Vada Vivad means argumentation for the sake of winning. So sometimes Vada also takes opposite meaning. When Vada takes an opposite meaning, then scriptures say one should not engage in that Vad. I hope you are able to understand. Narad Bhakti Sutra says, please repeat after me. Vado navalambya. Do not take shelter of Vada. But here what is the meaning of Vada? Vada Vivad, argumentation. And what was the first meaning of Vada that we saw? Cordial discussion. You can see the beauty of the language is such that the same term is able to take completely opposite meanings. Acha, this is for a devotee. Dear devotees, a devotee should not engage in any argumentation whatsoever. Any argumentative discussions. Unless really needed, one should not get into an argument. Why? Narad Bhakti Sutra specifies. Please repeat after me. Bahulya, Avakashatvad, Aniyatatvacha. Ajinkya Prabhu, please read the reason why we should not engage in Vada.
Because such argument keeps on increasing in scope and does not reach a fixed conclusion.
Because argumentation for the sake of winning never reaches a conclusion, and newer dimensions of the argument keep opening up. Therefore, devotees should ideally avoid argumentation. This is the clear instruction of Narad Muni in Narad Bhakti Sutra. Dear devotees, Krishna also confirms this in Srimad Bhagavatam. Please repeat after me. Shushkavada vivadena Kanchit paksham samashraye. Please read the translation.
A devotee should never speak like a mere logician or skeptic or take any side whatsoever in useless arguments.
I hope you are able. This is a very important instruction from Sri Krishna. There are people who will come to you with agendas. And they have their own agendas and they will try to rub off their agendas on you. Acharya Nishtha Prabhu, I think everybody in the temple should vote for the Democratic Party. What do you think? Acharya Nishtha Prabhu may be himself supporting Republicans. Alright. So Acharya Nishtha Prabhu has two options. Either he can roll up his sleeves and say, Acha, let's put on my boxing gloves. And then the argumentation can reach such a point that the senior devotees in the temple have to be called. So people will come with polarizing opinions. The devotee should know not to get into polarizing opinions. Why? Because Bahulyatvat, they split into many dimensions, Aniyatatvat, and there is no fixed outcome of them. You will end up with spoiled relationships and nothing else. Nothing else. The only end result is a spoiled relationship. One has to understand a particular fact. When an individual decides their mind on something, sometimes an individual doesn't even listen to their guru. Isn't it so, dear devotees? Sometimes an individual won't even listen to their guru if they have made up their mind. Do we think that they will listen to us who are not their gurus? So if a particular person has made up their mind about something and they are coming already and asking us, we should first and foremost check the intent of the person. Does this person want to arrive at the truth, or in his mind has he already arrived at his truth? Because if the person in their mind have already arrived at their truth, then they are not coming for a vad. They are coming for jalpa or vitanda. And if they are coming for jalpa and vitanda, we should avoid that discussion. How do you avoid such a discussion? Let's say, Ajinkya Prabhu, I come to you. Prabhu, I think last time we all voted for the Democrats and they got selected. You see how the country is. I think this time everybody should vote for the Republicans. What do you think, Ajinkya Prabhu? Let's start a campaign. Now, Ajinkya Prabhu has to very cleverly escape. All right? What will you say, Ajinkya Prabhu?
I don't think this has to be discussed in the temple.
It has to be discussed in the temple. Why not? I feel so strongly about it. Yeah. You always have rounds left when such discussions are taking place. That is not the ideal way. I'll tell you what is the Shastra specifies what is the ideal way. All right, try some more. Try once more. I have come to you with a polarizing opinion. What do you say?
I will say that I am not eligible for voting because I am not a citizen.
Array, you can influence others, huh? You can influence others. Come on, join me. We'll influence everybody in the temple to vote for the Republican Party this time. Chalo.
For that moment, I might just say yes, but don't do anything.
Now Ajinkya Prabhu is making some sense. But if you say yes, I will enroll you in my WhatsApp group. All right, huh? I'll form a new WhatsApp group, Republicans for Kalachanji. But the ideal answer, Ajinkya Prabhu, is close to what you said. It's neither yes nor no. The ideal answer is okay. What is the ideal answer? All right. So Ajinkya Prabhu, now you come to me with a similar opinion. Now you come to me and give a similar opinion. Bolo.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, Hari Bol.
So I think for this election, everyone should vote for Democrats. What do you think?
Okay, Prabhu, I'll definitely give it a good thought. Huh? I will definitely, Prabhu, think about it very nicely, Prabhuji. Okay. Huh? Okay is neither yes nor no. Okay is somewhere in between. And then you do whatever you want to do. All right? Huh? This is specified by Narad Muni in the 7th canto. Chanumodeta nirmama. And a person who's intelligent should make his plan of life very simple. When anybody comes with a strong opinion, such a person should neither say yes nor no. Such a person should say what? Okay. And then do whatever you want to do in life. So this is often the classic Indian strategy. You go to many Indian people, they will not say yes. They will not say no. What will they say? Let's say, okay, definitely, why not? 2 months later, nothing is done. So this strategy was given by Narad Muni in the 7th canto. Huh? And it is a classical, see, even the expressions, see, this is yes, this is no. And this is, this is okay. All right. Which means neither yes nor no. So this is how one should avoid shushkavad vivadena kanchit pak. Don't take any sides whatsoever in shushkavad and vivad. Don't take any sides whatsoever. Why? Because the final result is spoiled relationships. Dear devotees, Sri Rupa Goswami also says that avoiding argumentation is one of the 64 limbs of bhakti. Believe it or not. Avoiding argumentation is one of the 64 limbs of bhakti. Please repeat after me. Bahu grantha kalabhyasa Vyakhya vada vivarjanam Bahu Grantha, studying many non-devotional literature. Kala, studying many non-devotional arts. Abhyasa, practicing such arts and literature. Vyakhya, trying to give big lectures on non-devotional topics. And Vada, getting into argumentation. Vivarjanam, avoid this. This is one of the 64 limbs of bhakti. Dear devotees, one of the 64 limbs of bhakti is to avoid argumentation. This is in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Eastern Division, second wave, verse number 78. One of the 64 limbs of bhakti is to avoid vada altogether. By doing so, one saves their bhakti. And dear devotees, whenever possible, and almost always, speak sweet words. Alright? There's a very nice verse and I'll conclude with this. Priya Vakya Pradhanena Sarve Tushyanti Jantavah Tasmat Tadeva Vaktavyam Vachane Kadaridrata Priya Vakya Pradhanena. By giving sweet words, Sarve Tushyanti Jantava. Isn't everyone satisfied by giving sweet words? Please tell me. Yes or no? Yes. Maybe myself and Acharya Nishta Prabhu had a very strong argument over harmonium and kartal. Next time we are meeting each other. He is upset with me. Hare Krishna Prabhu, how are you? See how sweet he is. I don't need to, Be upset, Prabhu, be upset. All right? Hare Krishna. Now I notice that he is a little upset. Acharya Nishta Prabhu, you got recently initiated. What a sweet name you got. Acharya Nishta is a very unique name, isn't it? So he is now smiling, dear devotees. Prabhu, I was thinking that, since you got initiated, I am so happy. I wanted to feed you in Govindas, which is here, just here. Will you come, Prabhuji? See? Sarve Tushyanti Jantava. Everyone is happy by speaking sweet words. Tasmat Tadeva Vaktavyam. Therefore speak which words? Sweet words. Vachane ka daridrita. Is the government taxing you on sweet words? No, no. As far as I heard, the government has not put a tax on sweet words till now. And you have an unlimited supply. So dear devotees, whenever possible, always speak which words? Sweet words. But don't speak sweet lies. Alright? Speak the truth, speak the sweet truth. This is the translation, Prabhu.
By speaking sweet words, all living entities in the world are satisfied. Therefore, speak sweet words. What poverty will you fall in by giving this gift of sweet words to everyone?
So dear devotees, with this, I'll conclude my discussion on 3 types of discussions. What are the 3 types of discussions? Vada, and which is the best one to have? Vada. Can Vada take an opposite meaning? Yes. When it takes an opposite meaning of argumentation, should devotees engage in that Vada? Avoid Jalpa and Vitanda at all costs, because the end result is spoiled relationships. Has Krishna also asked us to avoid? Yes. In the Srimad Bhagavatam. Has Sri Rupa Goswami asked us to avoid? But I am more intelligent. No, I am not. Alright? So don't put the ifs and buts against the words of Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Sri Rupa Goswami. Because after seeing everything in life and after understanding life much better than we understand, they have given a mature conclusion. Alright, dear devotees? With friends, you can have a loving quarrel. No problem in that. But with people who are acquaintances, don't engage in Jalpa and Vitanda. Right? So I'll pause here, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this was a wonderful discussion, and the 3 types of discussion.
I disagree with you, Prabhu.
Okay. I'll feed you at Kalachanji's. it's easier to avoid discussions when you have a mouthful of gulab jamuns. We have a few minutes for questions, maybe about 6 minutes. If someone would have some very Shankararani Prabhu wants to know what the discussion is, difference between talking to his wife is, and no, between discussions between Jalpa and Prajalpa.
So, yes, and then... No. Prabhu, I have enough quarrels in Mumbai. I am sorting out my relationships back in Mumbai, and I don't want to have more spoiled relationships in Dallas. All right. All right. Thank you, Prabhu. So your query is, what is the difference between Jalpa and Prajalpa? In Sri Rupa Goswami's literature, Rupa Goswami in the Ujjwal Nilmani defines various types of Jalpa. Sanjalpa, Chitra Jalpa, Ujjalpa, Prajalpa, all types of Jalpa are mentioned by Sri Rupa Goswami in Ujjwal Nilmani. And so Sri Rupa Goswami has given various definitions, but I will tell you what is Prajalpa. Prajalpa basically has two meanings. Prajalpa is blabbering. One meaning of Prajalpa is blabbering. In the devotee community, Prajalpa means non-devotional discussions. So there are two meanings that the term takes. Blabbering is called as Prajalpa. Jalpa is argumentation. Prajalpa is blabbering. And so there are Chitra Jalpa is, so some enigmatic blabbering. So there are many variations of Jalpa. A term takes on various meanings based on the prefix. Simply by changing the prefix, a term takes various meanings. Upasargena dhatvartha baladanyatra niyate praharahara samhara vihara pariharavat. Sanskrit grammar rules. That by prefix, the meaning changes. For example, in English, let's take the term, the activity do, undo, redo, outdo. Simply by changing the prefix, I am changing the meaning of the term. So similarly, Chitra Jalpa, Prajalpa, Sanjalpa, Ujjalpa, many of them are described in Bhakti Rasamrita. I told you a general meaning of Prajalpa, but the exact technical definition you will have to see in the works of Sri Rupa Goswami. Alright, thank you. Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, you have to tell me when to stop. Otherwise, I'll turn it into Vitanda. Yes.
My question is on Vitanda only. So the definition, it says that it's a argument between a honest person and their wrangler, right? So why can't it be with two honest persons also? I mean, it can be, right? I mean, it may take into that.
Yeah, but two honest people, when they discuss, both of them either want to arrive at the truth and they want to defend their side. A wicked person doesn't want to defend his side. I have come here just to defeat you. As straightforward, assassinate the arguments. Or if arguments are not possible to be defeated, then assassinate the character of the person. That is why a wicked person engages in Vitanda. So that is the reason.
Devotee community, it goes until Jalpa, not goes.
No, it can be Vitanda also. Check the internet. That's
okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. Prabhu, King Vena and the Brahmanas, was it a Vitanda?
Yeah, Vitanda. Vena was assassinating the character of the Brahmanas.
And the Supreme Personality of God.
Yeah. So therefore,
so it's a Vitanda.
The end result was Vena lost his life. And then the Brahmanas churned out of his limbs Prithu Maharaj.
Yeah. Okay.
All right?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. No, you can see your voice is loud enough. Yeah. All right. So how do we balance these instructions with Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita 17 chapter 15th verse? Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. How do we balance? Where Krishna says, but Krishna himself says the first characteristic of good speech is anudvegakaram. It should not cause agitation to the heart of the person who is listening. Satyam, second characteristic, it should be the truth. Priyam, it should be pleasing to the ear. And hitam, it should also cause benefit. So there are many ways of speaking. You can speak the same fact in many ways. For example, if let's say Acharya, sorry, I'm targeting it today. So if Acharya Nishcha Prabhu was playing the kirtan today, but he does not know how to play harmonium nicely, and he did not play the notes at all nicely. He was in his own world. The poor Mridanga and Kartal players got confused. And after the end of the kirtan, I can come to him, and there are various ways in which I can tell him. One way is, go get a teacher properly before performing kirtan next time. This is one way. I am speaking the truth. But is this, it is not Priya. Another thing I can say is, Acharya Nishcha Prabhu, see, your desire to perform kirtan is very nice. And at the same time, I feel that it would be much more enhanced if some of the difficulties that you're having in performing kirtan can be removed by consulting someone who is more advanced in music. How does that sound? Priyam. So this is one way of putting. So it's how we express. Yes.
More straightforward, and it seems like that way of saying it would be considered passive aggressive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how do you reconcile being sweet in speech and also not being passive aggressive?
Yeah, so how do you reconcile being sweet in speech and being passive aggressive? One time a devotee spoke something to me in a very harsh way, and then they said, please excuse me, I am a New Yorker. So I said that you are speaking as if this is a virtue. So all human beings, irrespective of where they are born, they should cultivate a habit of speaking sweetly. We cannot justify saying that it is in my culture to speak harshly. In fact, the culture from where I come from the western part of India. In India, I am a Western devotee. Let's put it that way. So I am from Maharashtra, and we Maharashtrians are famous for snatching back the entire India from Mughals. Yeah, the reputation. The reputation precedes us. Huh? We always carry a sword in our hand and on our tongues. That is, but just because, and Chaitanya Charitamrit says something about, I want to, say what Chaitanya Charitamrit says about us. Our reputation of the, quick one. The reputation of the Maharashtrians. Please repeat. Paschimera Loka Sabha Mudha Anachara. Prabhupada translate. The people in general on the western side of India were neither intelligent nor well behaved. Our reputation proceeds as, Chaitanya Charitamrit mentions the Maharashtrians, dear devotees, But I cannot take it as a license for bad behavior. Therefore, it is very important that I should also come to the standard described in the Shastra. That is my answer. All right? Thank you.
A round of applause for His Grace. Everyone, together. Hari Parshad Prabhu ki! So thank you again. We hope that you'll spend a little bit more time with us in Dallas, and not for Vitanda, but more Vada. Samvad would be even better. This Samvad was really, really very, very enlivening and enlightening. I have a few discussions.